So in this video I'm going to be talking about how I am working out, because I do workouts every day, and I thought that I have never spoken about how I work out and like what my routine is and how I sort of structuring my workout routine and schedule for 1 week, or so I want to give a little bit background history, because I think that some people, they are more physical active, and some people are completely like alien to the whole concept of working out. And I want to give some small kinds of ideas of why it's so important to work out. So when I was a kid, I grew up in a very like small area, like small sort of in a village basically. So we didn't have, if I wanted to go somewhere, like I had to use a bicycle or walk. And mostly with my friends, we were out playing in the forest and like running around outdoor. And we didn't have like cars and stuff. So in order to be able to move around, you have to be able to be in a good physical condition. That was like essential. And I grew up in North Sweden, and that's how it is there. You have to be quite tough and you have to be quite either way, if you live there you will get tough, but you have to be very like good in have good physical like capabilities and stuff. And then I used to do some skiing as well. So in the winter time I used to ski. And then I tried some football when I was like in the middle school, but it wasn't for that long. But we were doing so much other activities, like me and my friends. So we were always like active. We were bicycling, playing different, games and stuff outdoors. So I always had that, and I was used to doing planting potatoes, working out by doing different chores in the household basically. So for me that was like how it went on. And also when I was a teenager I used to take power walks. I didn't used to run so much then, but obviously we also had some physical activity in the school twice or thrice a week. And then when I went to the upper secondary school I moved, so I was living in another city. And every day when I went to the school I had to walk 3 kilometers to get to the school. And the same thing when I walked, back and forth. So in one day I end up walking probably 10 kilometers, because I didn't have like a bus, because it was quite expensive actually to pay for the bus when I was like 16. So I was used to walking, and also I used to do some dancing. So I took dancing classes, and we were doing, I think it was once or twice a week. I did some modern ballet, hip-hop dance, and that was my sort of workout. And then I also used to do some cross-country skiing as well. And then I moved to Dubai and some stuff changed. So I used to be having a little bit, for a while I used to go out party a lot, so I was always out in the nighttime. And therefore I did a lot of dancing when I was out on clubs and stuff. And that was my exercise for a while. But I also used to do running. So I started to run because obviously I didn't do any skiing, and I wasn't doing like walking to the places, because in Dubai you basically take a taxi everywhere and everything is very like, you can get anything to your house, so you don't have to walk and buy stuff and all these things. So I used to run, and it was quite hot weather. It was around 40 Celsius degrees. In the summertime, I was in Dubai even in the summer, so I used to do some running. And then and then after like 1.5 years I did start like get into doing regular workouts. So I would say from when I was like 20 I started to do like consistent workouts. And because I realized that I wanted to not only maintain good health and sort of improve my health, but also I wanted to, and like physical capability and condition and stuff, but I wanted to be able to run 10 kilometer in a good timing. So I started to do a lot of exercise when I was 20, so I got my schedule, you know, weekly, that I had quite a good schedule. And I used to do quite a lot of running, and I'm still doing, I still love running. And I'm now 26, so I have, over the 6 past years, I've been doing a lot of running. I've been doing a lot of different physical activities and have like a consistent workout schedule. Especially since I also been doing a lot of administrative work, like in the university, you have to spend a lot of time sitting in front of computer or reading and all these things. So you need to have like some schedule where you're doing physical activity as well. And quite early when I went into the university, there was one professor who was, he was a professor of law, I think, and he said that the only thing you should, after like study and everything, you know, the most important thing is that you maintain a good physical, you know, not appearance, but like good physical condition, you know, because he said that even if you will not be working with law once you graduate, at least you will have your physical capabilities, because that is the only thing that you can use after you have graduated, regardless if you will be working in your field of study. Because it's not so many people, I mean, a lot of people take out a degree, but they end up working in something else that they have taken out the degrees in, you know. They don't work with exactly what they have had for intention, you know, to work with. So I always had that in mind, that I'm not going to, you know, just focus on study. I'm going to maintain a good physical capability, because I realized that most jobs, they also, if they are demanding quite high academic performance or like whatever, they're also demanding that you are in a good physical condition, otherwise they are never going to hire the person. So that's where I am at now. So now fast forward, I'm still doing a lot of runnings and stuff, and I have like realized over the past years that there's like a cycle, you know. Sometimes I have a lot of running that I'm doing, so I might run 10 kilometer a couple of times a week for a couple of months, and then I sort of just feel like I want to draw back on my running, so I might do a little bit more maintenance and how should I say, like more like softer or like more recovering type of physical activities. And that's like how it works, even in cycles over the years, you know. So I would recommend, you know, that if you're starting off, if you are not currently having like a physical schedule with your workouts and stuff, that you're starting off, you know, not like pressing yourself to the limits, because that's going to just be like you go up and then you crash and get some injuries and stuff. And that has happened to me. Not really any injuries, you know, but I one time got an inflammation between my kneecap and the skin, which was really strange, but it was underneath, inside my, like next to my knee, inside of the leg, and I had to wear or walk around with these crutches, I think they're called. So I would not recommend like pushing yourself and then like crash. Instead, to keep and maintain something that is somehow in a balanced routine, you know. But now I am currently going to, I mean, I always have these goals that I set for myself with my workout. So I might have a, you know, goal that I'm going to run 10 kilometer in some competition or whatever it might be. I haven't really been competing like on any elite type of level, nothing like that, you know. But there are sometimes there are running competitions that are for like, let's say for breast cancer or something, then you can compete in something like that, you know. And also because since I am from North Sweden, I'm quite, you know, used to doing these outdoor hikes and stuff. So you go out in the forest or in the mountains or in the desert and you walk high, far, wide, you know, for a couple of long time, you know. And I love that type of stuff, you know. So that is something I always try and ensure I am able to you know, sort of conduct in case I would decide to go for something like that, like an outdoor activity or something. And also because my day-to-day life is, depending on where I am, I typically have a lot of things I have to carry around. If my back and my capability of carrying around my stuff isn't that good, I wouldn't get anywhere, you know. Like, I have traveled a lot, and you always have to be able to manage your own stuff, you know, like lift heavy things, and you have to be able to walk long distances. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes I've been inside of towers, you know, where there has been a fire going off, like the fire alarm has gone off, and you have to evacuate the tower. And if your physical capability isn't that good, how are you going to run down a lot of stairs? I'm just asking. So you need to have good physical capability, you know. And now, because since I've been studying and doing these things, the jobs that I want to get myself into is actually demanding quite a lot of physical activity, you know. You need to have a good physical capability. And obviously, I forgot to mention this, but I also been doing yoga instructor training. So when I was living in Dubai for some time, I did do a lot of yoga. I've never been the most flexible person, but I always have tried and maintained some form of routine in that sense, you know. So I did a lot of yoga as well. And that's also something that is keeping me on track with my workout, because I want to be able to continue doing yoga, and therefore you need to be in a good physical condition to do that. And especially because the jobs I am looking into within aviation is demanding quite a lot of physical capabilities and stuff, you know. Whether if you're going to work as a cabin crew or as a pilot or doing anything else, honestly, inside of the aviation industry, you need to have good physical, you know, condition. When I was doing some real estate and stuff, you know, which was kind of a marketing, sales / office job, that job also demanded nice appearance. Like, you needed to have good physical appearance, you know, like a good, you basically needed to be fit, you know, because that was part of the lifestyle concept that you were selling, you know. So you were a representative of that lifestyle, and therefore you needed to have that sort of physical appearance or whatever. So now, because I'm gonna go to Egypt on some days ahead from now, and I'm going to be in Egypt for, I don't know exactly for how long, potentially 2 weeks or something, and I'm very much looking forward to that. But I'm also having another schedule that I need to consider. So while I'm in Egypt, I need to do a lot of swimming, diving, and such type of activities, because to work in the aviation industry, you need to have like both diving, swimming, and a good physical condition. And now I have approximately 1 month that I need to do extensively amounts of training, you know. So for the past, I would say, like month, I've been taking it a little bit easier. I've been doing 1 to 2 hours training, like actual training at the gym or outdoor, whatever, a day. And also adding up like that I'm walking to different places wherever I might be going, and you know, such type of things. But now I'm gonna get back into my more like, you know, training actually to improve my capabilities. So I'm going to add up now to 4 hours of workout a day for the next coming month, which is going to involve different types of activities, but I need to keep it very different in the form of schedule and what I'm actually will be doing. So I need to do some swimming and some running, some cycling, some different you know, strength training, some yoga, like stretching, and potentially just walking, power walking with a lot of packing and all types of different things I potentially could need. So to build up my capabilities. So that is sort of what I have in front of me. And I am quite used to doing a lot of running. I really love running, but I know that some people, they suffer in their knees when they're doing a lot of running. I don't suffer at all, but obviously if I run with a lot of heavy stuff on my back, I would feel a little bit more that my knees are more compressed. And also if I am, for example, running and it's 40 plus Celsius degrees, like when I've been running in Dubai, I do feel like the friction or whatever, you know, in the knee when you're running in such like high temperature, your knees are almost like boiling, you know, because it's so much heat, because you're sweating and it's 40 plus Celsius degrees. So you almost feel like you have cooked your knees after you've been out running. So what I'm going to be doing now, ahead of me until sometime in August, so just to continue, but this is going to be my more like how I'm considering doing my training, is that I will do some running. I will run every day almost, because that's already what I'm sort of doing. So I will run approximately 30 minutes. I'm going to do the 10 kilometer a couple of times a week, which means that I run 10 kilometer under 1 hour. And sometimes, I mean, when I used to do like adding up my capability of running 10 kilometer an hour, I obviously wanted a better timing. So optimal timing for me to be at would be like 45 minutes doing 10 kilometer. But that's even a little bit on the higher end. I mean, if you can run 10 kilometer under 45 minutes, that's good, you know. But it should be somewhere there, you know. But I'm still like, I would say like when I just decide to run 10 kilometer, I would, you know, land maybe between 50 minutes to 55 minutes. And that means I have been keeping a speed like kilometer an hour during that period of running. And you need to run constantly, you cannot take any breaks. I tend to do intervals when I run a little bit faster distances, or doing the 10 kilometer in a faster time. So I will be minimum 10 kilometer an hour on the speed, and then I will go up to like 11 kilometer. 11 is somewhere where you actually should be at, constantly running, and then you can go down and rest at 10 kilometer an hour. And then what you should do is to stay on 11 kilometer an hour and then go up to 12 and 13 kilometer an hour and do like intervals on that level. And then whenever you need to rest during the run, go down to 10, but not below that, you know. And then you will actually end up getting a good time. And obviously if you are more like, you know, if you feel like you have the capabilities and stuff, you can definitely be up on like 14, 15, 16, or even 17 and 18 kilometer an hour on the speed. So that is something. And in order to actually sort of increase your capability of getting up on higher speeds of running, I am now, what I will be doing actually after I have, you know, later today, is that I'm going to be doing some intervals. So I will have like a shorter time frame where I will be doing 13 kilometer an hour speed for approximately, maybe let's say 20 seconds. Go down to maybe 8 kilometer an hour, so really like slow jog, and then up again to 13 kilometer an hour, and then down to 8 kilometer an hour. Do that for 11 times. That's sort of structure. And also another thing that's really important to do, I mean, I might do 13 kilometer, let's say 11 times is a good, but you can also, if you feel like it's getting really too much, you can do like 5 of these intervals on 13 kilometers, and then you can do like 12 or 12 and a half kilometer an hour. And also another thing important when you're trying to get your running sorted is to run in an uphill. And if you are not having any outdoor places like a forest with a lot of hills, sort of where I grew up, you have to go to the gym if you have one, or wherever you're finding a hill basically, maybe in your backyard or something, I don't know, and run in an uphill and try keep the speed 10 kilometer an hour. When you're running uphill, you want to ensure you are not going down in the speed, you know, because you want to sort of increase your capability and also run uphill. That is also really good because it's going to get your heart rate like up. Now, I wouldn't recommend anyone to do any physical activity if you haven't got the clearance from your doctor, like your biomedical doctor and stuff, but this is just what I'm talking about if you're getting prepared to work in a profession where you, or like doing some form of professional training where you need to have physical capabilities, you know. This is what I do, you know, I'm just sharing my sort of perspective on this. So I'm gonna make one part 2 and talk more about my physical activity.